Welcome everyone. We will get started in about 3 minutes. Yes, this recording will be shared after this call. We'll have it uploaded and share it out in an email for any attendees who want to pass it on to coworkers. And we will get started in about a minute, just to give everyone some time to log on. Okay, we will get started. Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to our hands-on workshop on setting up DocuSign for Salesforce. This is our first hands-on workshop we're doing, or I am doing, should I say. So bear with me and please give me feedback at the end. We will be sending out a survey, so I read every bit of feedback that I get. This hands-on workshop came from feedback from a customer wanting to know more, and even some Salesforce community folks wanted to know more. So I do read the feedback and I find it very important that you give it to me. So with that, I am going to get going. I am Lauren Dunne. I am a senior Salesforce advocate for DocuSign in our developer programs team. I am based here in Wisconsin, but I do have a funny accent. I am Irish, so I will try and talk slowly. I tend to have a bit of a speed issue sometimes, so I hopefully won't have too much trouble slowing it down for you today. Today, I am here with Matt King, who is the most amazing person in the whole entire world. Matt King is developer support engineer here in DocuSign, and he'll be helping us with Q&A throughout the webinar. Matt, do you want to say hello to everyone? Throwing on into the lines here, I'm sorry. Okay, cool. So before we get started, I also have Melissa on the call. Melissa makes sure everything goes right in the background and keeps us honest on absolutely everything. So Melissa has a few housekeeping items to share. So Melissa, over to you.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Okay, housekeeping. As mentioned in chat, you are placed in listen-only mode. If you have questions, please use the Q&A button to ask questions as they occur to you, and we'll answer via the Q&A box or let you know that we'll answer them live. Right-click is also your friend. If you could go on to the next slide, Lauren.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
That's okay. So that's the Q&A, how to ask questions. Right-click is your friend. To save your questions and answers, simply right-click on them and copy and save to your desktop or document. You can also unmute yourself, and once you do so, you are free to speak with us live to ask questions too. Lastly, you should see a quick poll on your screen in just a moment. If you can answer those questions, that will help us understand where you are in your development journey and enable us to customize content for this and future webinars. With that, I will turn it over back to Lauren to get us started.
Thank you very much. I unfortunately cannot participate in the poll, but I will let everyone else do. So what am I going to cover today? So our workshop objectives today are to install DocuSign eSignature for Salesforce from the Salesforce App Exchange into your Salesforce org. Connect your DocuSign and Salesforce accounts. Add DocuSign features on supported Salesforce objects, and send a document for signing, all in this workshop. Again, I'll be doing this with you. If you want to do it along with me, or if you want to hold off until you get the recording of this session, that's okay too. It can take a little while to have your DocuSign for Salesforce package install into Salesforce. It can take anything from up to 20 minutes to an hour in my experience. So a little bit more about me is I am in the Salesforce world over, I'm showing my age now, I'd say 12 years, maybe a little bit longer. I have been a Salesforce admin, an admin developer, solution architect, and now I am a Salesforce evangelist or advocate. So I have been in your shoes if you are a Salesforce admin, so I'm going to give this as a perspective of an admin. But if you're a developer, the steps are the same, so just bear with me and ask the questions. I do not mind being interrupted whatsoever throughout this whole presentation.
Hey,
So,
Lauren, that's a great segue. We actually do have a raised hand from Rebecca Hoffman.
Hi, Rebecca.
I just allowed her to talk.
Hi.
Rebecca, go ahead.
Hi, Rebecca.
Nope, sorry. I must have accidentally just clicked it.
Not to worry. I have a kitten currently at the moment walking all over me, which is why I'm not on screen, because she is an attention seeker. Oh, get off my laptop. So don't worry about that. You know, we kind of keep things casual here at DocuSign. I am going to get started with let's get hands-on. So first thing I'm going to do is I am going to log into Salesforce. If you have not done this before, you can go into developer.docusign.com. So you need a DocuSign developer account. So if you go developer.docusign.com and you can create an account, it's completely free. We do not charge. It has the features that you need to get through doing proof of concepts for anything you want to do with DocuSign. So load up your name, your email address, your company, and the country. And one of the best things about this developer account that you are signing up for, you also get to use that account for DocuSign University. I'm a big champion of education. You know, my grandpa always told me no education is ever lost. So this developer account is also connected to DocuSign University, and you can use that account to do our hands-on courses, our self-paced courses that are completely free as well. There are some courses on DocuSign University that are paid courses, obviously, but we do have some really good content on there for people to get started in their Salesforce journey. Also, what I will say is you do not need to be a developer to have a developer account. If you're an admin, a business user, or just naturally curious like myself, feel free to log in and get a developer account. As I said, it's completely free. Another thing I am going to show you is Salesforce, I can't type today, developer account. Again, the Salesforce developer account is completely free. And this is something that you just fill out again and you get your access to. I have, you'll see in a minute, I have millions of developer accounts for different projects that I have been working on. So the sky's the limit on how many you can use. You do not need a company email address to sign up. Again, very much like DocuSign, you can use a Gmail account. So with that being said, I already have my accounts created. I will give everyone a second to take down those URLs. So let's see if I can move this. I can't. It's developer.salesforce.com/sign up. And then on the developer one, it is the DocuSign one, it's developer.docusign.com. I am going to log in to my Salesforce. So it's the standard login.salesforce.com. And as you can see, there's a whole load of different ones in there that I have of developer accounts. I am going to, I have it written down, sorry. I'm all thumbs today for some reason. I'm going to log in, hands-on workshop. It's not the one, it's the normal one. I have a few accounts for this one today, just in case, you know, yourselves with live demos, you never know what's going to happen. Okay. And there I am. I am logged into Salesforce. I'm in the Lightning Web Experience. You can also, if you are still in Classic, if you're doing this in your production org, obviously we don't recommend that. We recommend you do this in a sandbox before you even do anything in production. You know, save yourself a headache. Do it in a sandbox first. Once you're in your Salesforce, it doesn't matter if you are a Lightning or a Classic person, the steps will be the same. You can go to the App Exchange. So if you're in Classic, you go to Setup and you type in App Exchange in the quick find bar. Or if you are in Lightning, I am going to, like I'm showing you here, you visit the App Exchange. So you click on the App Launcher and then visit App Exchange. Once this page loads, you can DocuSign. I can't spell today. I am terribly sorry, guys. So once you're in, you can see we have a whole load of DocuSign in there. The ones I recommend anyone getting started is obviously the DocuSign Essentials, which is not this one. Where is it? There it is there. DocuSign eSignature for Salesforce Essentials. This is one I would recommend everyone download, but also the DocuSign eSignature for Salesforce as well. So there's two apps to install into your Salesforce org. Again, completely free if you're downloading them into a developer org. So just follow the steps. So you click Get It Now, open login screen. Because I'm already in Salesforce, I'm not going to have to, you know, continuously update and insert my password, I hope, because, you know, I forget my passwords. Install here. And then it's going to ask you to fill out all your details. So I'm just going to quickly remember my name. I want to be a princess today. I can't spell today either. Okay. And then the email address is not that one. Sorry. It is dshandsonworkshop@gmail.com. If you're feeling particularly lazy, you can also copy it from up here. The country, I am going to pick United States. And the state I'm in is Wisconsin, which does not have any snow at the moment, just in case anyone's wondering. You have to agree to obviously the terms and conditions. I'm not going to click yet, give me loads of emails, and then I'm going to confirm and install. So you want to install for all users. Installing it for admins is great, but it can be a pain in the behind, and then you have to go back in and reinstall. So install for all users now and save yourselves the headache. So you install. These are all just the third-party accesses. These are all DocuSign ones, so they're okay to click continue. You have to, oh yeah. This took me forever to figure out the other day. There is a little checkbox here. I'm not wearing my glasses today, but it is there, so you have to tick that before you can tick continue. And then it will install. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a little bar that says it's going to take a little while to install this package. That's okay. You tend to get an email saying, hey, we're done. So it just takes a little longer than normal. One thing that I should call out as well, if you are trying to do this in a production org, or if you're doing this in a trial org or a trailhead playground, one thing to know is you need to enable the My Domain in Salesforce. So while this is loading up, I'm going to show you where to go for that. I'm already in here, so I'm just going to click in. So to enable my domain, you cannot use DocuSign. You can install it, but you're going to run into so many errors after you've installed it. So to be able to use DocuSign in your Salesforce org, you need to have my domain. So click your little clog. Again, it's the same steps in Classic as it is in Lightning. So you go to Setup, and you type in my domain, or just my, and it pops up here. If you are using a developer account, it's already done for you. You already get your my domain. So that's it there. It's already predefined for you. If, however, you are, if you're in a Trailhead, a Playground, or a temporary trial org, you will have to do that, create your own my domain, which is you go into edit and then you name it whatever you can. I can't because it's grayed out right here because I already have it. It can take up to 24 hours. Just bear this in mind. It can take up to 24 hours for your domain to be registered. I have seen it be done within 2 hours, but Salesforce recommendation is 24. So if you are using this in your company org or your production org, bear that in mind, that you have to have my domain installed or activated. You will run into problems, as I said, so it's just a little heads up there. Save yourself some time there. So this is standard. You get this app is taking too long to install, and that's fine. I will get an email when that's done. So this is just the eSignature for Salesforce. I am also going to install, because I am greedy today. Again, same steps. Visit the App Exchange. And I'm going to do DocuSign Essentials as well. DocuSign Essentials is the latest product we have. It's the all-in-one. It has Gen Negotiate, and it has the new, if you were on my webinar, I was about 2-3 weeks ago, the new release features of eSignature. That's all available here in the Essentials package. And guys, I have to tell you, I wish I was still a hands-on admin in an org that has DocuSign. The new eSignature features are amazing. You know, everything is done within Salesforce now. There's no logging out or, you know, uploading a template or anything like that. It's all done in Salesforce. And I literally squealed and followed the developers around when I got told that we were doing this last year. So they're all kind of still scared of me. So I am going to, because I'm lazy, copy and paste this time. Choose a country, United States.
So Lauren, while you're working on that, we have
Sure.
a question from Blanca. Essentially they're asking what the second App Exchange package that you had installed there before was.
Okay.
And we were talking about this previously. Now might be a good time to kind of go over the administrative portions if you actually need access to that and what that second package is.
Yep, most definitely. So I've installed the DocuSign for Salesforce, and then the DocuSign Essentials package. Reason why I've done that, and I will show you one quick second, is there's certain DocuSign admin privileges with the DocuSign for Salesforce package that are not on the Essentials package. And what that means is if I want to put custom fields or merge fields from Salesforce onto my DocuSign, or onto my template or my document that I want to send to a customer, I need that admin privilege. And I will show you as soon as this starts to install, I will show you what that all means. One thing to call out as well, because I want to use merge fields in my template, again, you know, I'm clicks, not code. I am drag and drop. I am 110% a Salesforce admin through and through. This makes my life easier. I don't have to worry about, I'm going to just log out here and I'll be able to fully show you now, Blanca, one sec. I'm out of all the Salesforces. Okay, let me just clean up my screen a little. I want to log in as someone else, hang on. So because these are going to take forever, you see here my package has been successful. That one was quite quick. That was 3 minutes. I'm still waiting for the other one to be installed. So while that's installing, I will I am surprised I'm remembering my passwords today. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so I am in an org that I already have the 2 apps pre-installed. The reason for that, as I said, it can take a little while for the apps to install. I'm just going to keep an eye on this mailbox until. So I have both the DocuSign. Sorry, 1 second. I am typing too fast for my computer today. So I have the 2 packages installed, the Apps Launcher, which is the essentials, and the DocuSign eSignature for Salesforce. Blanca, to answer your question as to why, I can't spell today, admin. The reason why I've installed the eSignature for Salesforce is so that I can have access to the admin tab. The admin tab here allows me to add in custom fields, add in layouts, it adds in merge fields. It just basically gives me the DocuSign admin features in Salesforce. So I don't have to log out and go into DocuSign to do all of these. I can do, I don't think my account is there. So I can do settings, I can disable users, etc. So it just gives me the admin within Salesforce. If you didn't want to do that, you can do it on the web with the login.docusign.com. I just like to do everything within Salesforce because, you know, I like to make my life as easy as possible. So with that, I'm hoping that this is installed. It has not yet. Okay, taking a few more minutes. So with that, I want to configure my eSignature for Salesforce. So sorry, let me just disconnect this. So I want to basically log into Salesforce. I don't want to connect Salesforce and DocuSign together. So log into DocuSign. I'm going to get an error message here. You want to know why? Because I'm clicking log into DocuSign and I have a demo account. If I had a production account, I would not receive any error messages throughout the process. However, if you are following along with me and you are logging in and you are using demo or developer accounts or sandboxes, you click advanced options and you log into a demo account. That way it's recognized and you're not going to get into a vicious loop. I remember when I first started in DocuSign and no one had told me this. And I was resetting my password and I was banging my head against a wall. And I couldn't figure out why this would not work for me. And then someone said, are you logging in using your demo account? And then that's when, you know, the epiphany went and I was like, oh yeah. So log in using your demo account if you are using a developer sandbox. As I said, if you are not, feel free to use the normal login if you're in a production. So I didn't have to put in my username here because it recognized that I've already been in this sandbox. So hopefully that's correct. So then it's just going to ask me which username. As you see, as I showed you, I have like a billion usernames. So this is my one username right here. And it's going to go select the account. It already pulls it in. I'm like, yep, that's the right one. And then it's going to tell me to authorize access to Salesforce. So I still haven't authorized the access, but I'm going to allow access because I need DocuSign and Salesforce to talk to each other. Awesome. And now that that's done, I can configure other stuff as well, like DocuSign Gen. One thing to remember is these are time sensitive to Gen and negotiate because you are using a demo account. You get 30 days. Oh, sorry, 31 days, I think it is. So if you wanted extra, obviously you'd have to pay for a license and stuff like that. So just bear that in mind if you do configure them, that you have a limited time on them. They are a trial, they're not part of the demo or the dev account, should I say. As I say, I can configure these. I can do user management. I can do components. So if I wanted to do user management, I'm the only one in this org, but if I wanted to add a user, I could do it here, and that gives them access to DocuSign. If you are a Salesforce admin, and you have done this 1 or 2 times, I'm guessing, as an admin, you can do the setup as well. So if you go to setup and go to users, users. Standard dev org people at the moment, but if you did have other people that you wanted to add in there, you have to provide the permission sets. Again, just because it's installed into your Salesforce org doesn't mean you automatically have access to it. And this is so that you can manage your licenses as well. So you can edit assignment as you would a normal. So I'm just going to select all the DocuSign. So if CLM, contract lifecycle management, user, contract lifecycle management viewer, document generator, negotiator, sender. So these are all different types of accesses that you can grant users. If you want to know more about CLM, there is going to be a presentation at DreamTX on the 17th of November. We're at 10:20. At DreamTX, and we go over what contract lifecycle management can do and the setup in the background. There will hopefully be another session on that as well in 2021, but for now, contract lifecycle management, I'm going to just give everyone the access, or give myself the access. I already had the administrator. I also had DocuSign administrator, and now I'm going to just save. So as I said, there's 2 ways of doing it. You can do it the standard way you would do setup of any user within Salesforce, or you can do it in the DocuSign setup here as well. It just depends on how you want to do things. Now that that's all done, as you can see, my apps launcher is now successful. So I'm going to stay in the org I'm currently in. Nothing is different. I have installed both the apps in this org as well. So as you can see, I'm admin. Date added was the 9th. So I want to get going. You know, I have a sales. I love to use sales as an example when I'm doing demos, because that's who I work with very frequently. When I was a Salesforce admin, I have a sales manager saying, I need purchase orders to be streamlined because I have an employee who is constantly misspelling things, mistyping things, putting the wrong purchase order numbers in there. You know, if any dealing with you know, entering in forms and stuff like that, sometimes they can get a little bit messy. So I have a salesperson coming to me, sales manager, saying, I want to make this as clean and simple as possible. Can you help me? I've installed DocuSign. So yes, of course I can help you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the envelope templates. And this is, I'm trying really hard not to squeal right now, guys, because this is amazing. I'm going to just click new. I want to set up a new template. What kind of template do I want to do? So because we're having a problem, sales are having a problem where templates, you know, salespeople are sending out slightly different templates, or, you know, misspellings and stuff. I'm going to streamline the PO process. And what data source am I going to do? Well, we use Salesforce as our ERP. We process all our orders through Salesforce. So I'm going to use the opportunity, and I'm going to create my template. So what document do I want to use? Well, that's quite easy. I already have a template in mind that everyone has signed off on, all the management team. Here it is. It's currently saved as a Word document. Oh, do I have to retype everything? Oh my God. So this is just a very, very basic for this demo purchase order. So I have it saved. This is the one everyone should be using, but I'm going to load it in here. That's it. That's my template done. Next, I'm going to say who gets this purchase order. So depending on your process in Salesforce or how you process your orders or whatever document you wish to send out. For me, in this example, I'm going to add a recipient, and the recipient is going to be a related list, user contacts. You can do it by role, you can do it by signing group. So I'm going to no, not customer contact. One tip, a Salesforce tip, actually, believe it or not, is if you're unsure of what something is called, an object is called, and I'm sure everyone knows this at this point, but I tend to go into the opportunity then, and I go and double check everything. So contact role, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone who is in the contact role already. So I'm going to go to a related list because it's a related list in my opportunity. And I'm going to select opportunity contact roles. If I wanted to add more in, I could, or if I wanted to filter it. So because again, in Salesforce, you have multiple roles in your contact roles. I've picked a decision maker. That's how our process works in DocuSign. So the decision maker is going to sign off on all of this. So I don't need to do any filters. I'm going to click add and new. Because I also want someone to sign off on this, someone in DocuSign needs to sign off. So yes, we've received a purchase order. I'm going to select owner as well. And I'm just going to say needs to sign off and add. So I've added two different things here. I've added a related list and a record field. Then here, I'm going to be able to edit, or you can standardize the email subject that goes out to your customer and the email message that goes out to your customer as well. And this is kind of cool. And the reason why I'm saying it is you'll be able to see in just a second. So purchase order. And I'm going to say I'm sending you this PO for your electronic signature. Please review and electronically sign by the following link. So there we go. I've changed it all. Next, I'm going to place fields. So this is where the admin and the essentials come into play again, Blanca, just so you know. I've got these cool fields that I want to, I'm lazy. I want to drag and drop, or I'm in a hurry and I want to drag and drop. I want to do some merge fields. So I'm going to select order. I'm going to call it order number. And I'm going to select a field from Salesforce to merge. So I'm going to select it on the opportunity or object. So opportunity. I'm going to select order number. Well, I'm going to try. Here's another thing, because I don't know what the purchase order number the customer is going to give me is, I'm going to allow them to write back. What that means is I don't know what the customer's purchase order number is, but I'm going to give them the ability to put it on this document. And once they put it on this document, write it back into Salesforce, which is kind of cool. It's a standard text because I don't know what type of purchase order this customer is giving me. It could be letters, it could be numbers, it could be a string of both. So I'm just going to leave it as text. Font, if I wanted a particular font, you don't necessarily have to fill this out. I just do because I like it. And again, you can do the size, etc. Validation type if there is one. So social security number, email numbers. So if you're asking someone for an email address, if they do not have an @companyname.com, it won't save. It's going to tell them, hey, we actually need you to fill out an email address, not just a name. Same with numbers and dates and stuff like that. If they are not in a standard format, they'll get a little prompt to say, hey, you need to fill this type of information in this field. So you can do auto place text as well if you want. I don't particularly like to do auto place. I like to put it where I want to. So I'm just going to save this. Now that it's saved, I'm going to drag and drop it right here because I need to know their name, their number. I'm going to go back in here because I'm like, oh, company name, who's it prepared for? Because this is only a template, it's a blank template. So who's it for? The company name. But I want to take it one step further. I want to put in their billing address. So I already have this merge field already in here, but I'm going to, just the purpose to show you. Again, I'm going to select it as a Salesforce merge field. I'm not going to let them write back, and you'll see in a second it won't let you. Opportunity. And then I'm going to go for the account ID. And then I'm going to select the billing. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm sorry, guys. Billing. I'm just going to select the billing street, for example. It shouldn't let you write back. Oh, it does for this one, because it's the street. Sorry, I had the full address in the last one. So I'm going to save it again, and then I can drag and drop billing addresses here. If I wanted to change the settings, so here's billing address, allow sender to edit, write back. Again, I'm going to just drag and drop it right here. And you can continue on like this. I could go on all day and show you all the fields that you can merge from Salesforce into DocuSign. But I know we're on a bit of a time crunch, so I won't bore you to death with this, but you kind of get the gist of it. Now on to the good stuff, the eSignature side of things. So these are our standard. You can just drag and drop date signed, which is down here. You can do title, you can do name. Now that's just the opportunity contact person. What about the person from Fresh Software that's sending this out? Well, let's just drag and drop theirs as well. So you can flick between here. Again, all done inside. You do sign, you can do name, and I'm not going to do the rest. Well, I'll do date because, you know, let's keep this a little bit correct. And then while I'm here, again, drag and drop, easy as. And then I'm going to save and close. Once I save and close, I get more options. Do I want to give them a reminder? This has a fond name in DocuSign, and I'll probably be shot for telling you this, but we call it the nag button. And if you ever talk to Melissa on a night out or anything like that, she will tell you I am terrible with deadlines. So Melissa tends to, because make sure I'm on the straight and narrow, would send me reminders. Sometimes it's polite in Slack, or sometimes it's, you know, she sets up a DocuSign that will have a reminder every day, every 2 days, every 3 days. Or, you know, she'll just call me up and go, Lauren, just sign your document. So you can remind the receiver every day. And then the envelope expires. This is really cool. When do you want your envelope to expire? Well, we say 120 days here, but you know, it's end of quarter, or you know, things are time sensitive. I can put after 2 days after sending it. Opportunity stage, do I want to, and this is really, really cool, do I want to update the opportunity stage after the document is signed? Of course I do, because once the document is signed, we've won it, so it's closed won. We just need the process. So document write back, do I want to save the completed documents in the opportunity? Of course I do. Do I want to save the name? I want to combine it all. So I want to combine all the documents in one in case they upload anything in particular. And how do I want it to call it? So it is, no, Melissa, I'm not calling you a nag. I'm just saying you keep me on track, which is good. So you can change it however you want, whatever way you want to save your documents. So I like to keep it email subject, envelope status, and plus PDF. That's just me personally. And then you can save the certificate of completion as well in the opportunity record. So that's all done within Salesforce. And then I'm going to click next. So I don't know about anyone here, but as I've said repeatedly, I'm a Salesforce admin. I like to avoid putting any code into the system, any whatsoever, because when I was an admin, I had to go through a code review, I had to go through a developer, and it would just take forever. And I have a salesperson or sales manager telling me, I need this in now. We are seeing far too many mistakes and customers are complaining. So DocuSign have a solution for that. It's the custom button. So you do not need to code a JavaScript or a Lightning Web Component anymore. We have it all in here for you. So I'm just going to call it PO send. I'm doing this so that I can differentiate it from everything else on the opportunity page. And then what page layouts do I want to put them on? Well, I've already selected I want this purchase order to go out on opportunities, and I'm just going to select all. Again, if you only want it for opportunity support or sales, you can select each and other. And then I'm going to save. That's it, done. Jobs OXO, like, that's it. My job is done. It's there, ready to go. Mr. Sales Manager, get your guys to start doing the purchase order using the button. So what does that mean now for salespeople? Let me log in as a sales console, into the sales console, should I say? Sorry. So I'm now in, and I can see exactly what a salesperson can see. And I'm going to go to Fresh Software, which is purchase order. I can see here, we're in negotiate, we're in review, we're ready to go. Here's the details of the order. I don't have the order number in here. I'm stage history, it's going back and forth. All right, okay, let's send the PO because, I want to make sure it goes out. The salesperson then gets to see the purchase order template. They get to see the recipients, who it's going to. I'm sending it to myself twice because I've put myself in here twice. Once as the opportunity contact person, and I'm also the owner of the opportunity. You can see the purchase order subject email. So salespeople can update the email signature or the email message that or the email subject, should I say, or the email message that they are sending to the customer. They can personalize it. Hi, Lauren, as we discussed on the phone yesterday, here is the purchase order for your electronic signature at the price you agreed, etc. They can add more details or more options, such as, again, the nag button or the automatic reminders. I'll be shot for saying nag button. So if they're like, oh, this customer is really nice and they're kind of good at coming back to me, I don't want to nag them every day. Let's give them 5 days, and the envelope expires. Oh, let's give them a full week. Why not? A week and a couple more days. So that's that. They can click next. Once that's done, they can see all this information is already there. And they're like, oh, well, I didn't put the expiration date or I didn't put payment terms. They themselves can go in and do all this if they feel like there's something that's missing. If they don't feel like anything's missing, you can just send it. Again, it depends on the permission of the salesperson as well. Please bear that in mind. Not every salesperson is going to be able to go in and edit things. They'll be able to edit subjects and stuff like that, but not necessarily the tabs and stuff like that. So I just said that. It's gone. Okay, what does that mean for me now? Let's log in. I've got a purchase order. Oh, okay. Thank you very much for sending that to me. Let me review it. Prepared for, continue. So it's prepared for DocuSign. I'm going to sign it. Title, I'm a princess. I've always wanted to be a princess. And I'm going to purchase order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to click finish. Copy of the document will be sent to my email address. That's great. Okay. Now, because I put myself also as the other signer, I should receive the second. Sorry. I should receive the second to sign. Yep. And I did. There it is there. So I have one from a minute ago. And because I am the owner of the opportunity, I have received the document to sign. So I'm going to continue. Oh, yep, I'm going to sign it. I'm also a princess. And then I'm going to finish. Continue. So now that is done, both the opportunity owner and the opportunity signer, the opportunity owner, sorry, and the customer has signed this document. And I'm going to refresh. There's the purchase order because it wrote back in. And there's the stage is closed 1. So it updates absolutely everything for you. So there's no, oh, I got the purchase order, but I forgot to close the opportunity. You know, especially, I don't know if anyone else has quarter end, but during quarter end, people are just go, 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 go. Sometimes they forget to close their opportunities or forget to close the loop. So this kind of makes it easier for the customer, or for your customer, being sales or customer service or whoever you want to implement this for. I've just shown you opportunity. This can be installed on any of the standard objects in Salesforce. This is just our biggest use case. So with that, that is the demo of this eSignature. You know, guys, this is amazing that I didn't once have to go into DocuSign to get a DocuSign template installed into Salesforce and send it out. I didn't have to do anything. Now, if, however, something happens and you need access to that document, let's say you get locked out of your Salesforce org or anything like that, that document will also be in your DocuSign account. So don't worry, a copy will be in there as well. But with that, I'm going to go back to my deck. If it loads, it's a little slow today. Matt, how are we doing on questions?
Hey, Lauren. We have a couple of questions that have been coming in. I've been answering most of them inline, but we do have a couple items to go over.
Okay.
So just to preface this, the Q&A section, we are planning on taking attendee feedback. And based on your more advanced questions, like a lot of the ones that are coming through, we are planning to have a separate session on more advanced topics. And with that, I guess we can go ahead.
Oh, Matt, have I gone deaf? Have you gone on mute? Who's got bingo? Okay. So if we have, hopefully we've got to your question. If not,
thank you, Lauren. My apologies. I was on mute and talking to myself there for a minute.
Bingo.
We definitely have had a number of questions coming in. And I'd like to preface this with just to let people know that we are planning on taking attendee feedback, specifically around some of your more advanced questions, and we're planning on having a separate section. So with that, we can go ahead and jump into the weeds a little bit. With that, let's get started. Blanca did ask a question a while ago, asking specifically whether or not DocuSign Essentials was solely for small businesses, or whether or not they could use the packages in enterprise editions. The short answer is that these apps they should be available to everybody. There shouldn't be a limitation whether or not you're a small business or whether or not you're an enterprise company or even under one of their models. The interactions between DocuSign and Salesforce could take place at an API level based on credentials that you supply during the setup process. So the actual Salesforce edition shouldn't have a whole lot to do in terms of interacting with DocuSign on a functionality level. So my short answer to that would be no, it should not essentially be for small business. We want our applications to be available to everybody.
Yep. And make your life easier as well.
Andy is asking, specifically trying to follow along. Andy received an error indicating that he's not authorized to access the envelope. So Andy, that particular error message is not a specific DocuSign fault that comes back. That would be an interpretation coming from the Salesforce side of things. Given what I just said, and kind of stepping back for a second, when we do the setup and whenever you do get access to that DocuSign admin tab, the managed package actually stores your current set of login credentials and then uses that to authenticate and talk back and forth between Salesforce and DocuSign. So it doesn't make sense to me that you would have the permissions that you need to be able to create a template and then also not be authorized to access it after the fact. So what I would request is a copy of the logs that were generated whenever this interaction took place. And when I say the logs that are generated, the Salesforce log dumps can be pretty tricky to interpret. But typically, if you turn on API logging on the DocuSign end of things, if that call is being pointed towards the account and the user that you're logged in as, it should register what's going on, and then we can have a closer look and figure out where we can bridge the gap at. So my short answer to that one would be that that does sound a little bit odd, and that's something that I would raise a ticket with customer support about, just to make sure that there's not something crazy going on.
Cool.
Okay, so next up, is it possible to find more dynamic envelopes, adding multiple documents based on selection in Salesforce? Yes, it is. So the actual button builder has a number of different functionalities that you can do. Lauren, could you do a quick demo for us to show you how you can use one of those buttons to add in more than just the single doc?
Yep. So if I go back into the envelope template, click purchase order, and I click edit, I can add multiple documents into this template. I don't necessarily, as you see, attach documents from Salesforce record. I can upload another document. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to upload a picture of my dog. And you can hear Matt's dog in the background. Okay, actually, no, I'm going to look a picture of my Salesforce tattoo because people think I'm crazy. Done. I can add more than that. I can add another document as well. So you can add multiple documents here and then place fields. And then actions. I always get hung up on this part. There. Matt, was this the section you were thinking of, or is there more, or a different place? Matt? Nope. Okay. Well, you can add in additional documents here. You can do upload or get from the cloud as well. No, have we lost Matt again?
Hey, Lauren, I think we have.
Okay.
He can see that your mic is on, but he's unable to hear us, I believe.
And you guys can hear me, so that's okay.
Yeah, and I can
apologies,
go through the
I appear to be having
questions.
a little bit of a sound issue. I will return momentarily.
No worries. So you can add in multiple documents here, and then click next and follow through the process I just showed you there. I think that's the one Matt was talking about. I'm not too sure. Question about custom buttons. Every template needs its own button. As I said, Oliver, no, you can add in a couple more templates if you wanted. Let's see. More Q&A. Vision setting up, frame agreements, product selected. multi-select pick list. Oh, Pavel, don't use a multi-select pick list. Steve Mo would kill you. Yeah, you can add in multi-select pick lists as well as a custom object or emerged template, emerged field, should I say, as well. I just didn't have any in set up in this demo org, but you can use multi-select pick lists as well. One thing that I have been hearing from customers is when you update a multi-select pick list, you know, if you update the values within, you have to disconnect your Salesforce or your DocuSign for Salesforce and Salesforce and connect it back together to make sure the changes are in effect. I've heard some customers have a few issues. Yeah, that some customers have had a few issues. Okay, I'm not sure as Matt answered everyone else's questions. Custom buttons, every template needs its own. We've already gone over that. Is it possible to define more dynamic envelopes, adding in multiple documents into one base selection? Yeah, we've already gone over that too. Matt, are you back?
Yes, I am. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
All good.
Bit of an
It wouldn't be a live demo if we didn't have some technical issues.
That's fair. So then, just a couple of the questions that we did answer in line, I just wanted to cover real quick while we still have a few minutes. So one of the more interesting questions we got is, essentially they were asking about how migration and upgrades work. And it does get pretty complicated in the background. So essentially the way that it works is that whenever you send out an envelope, there's a custom field that's added to the envelope that includes a source ID that basically tells our system where the envelope goes and where the related items are supposed to go back to. It's exactly a database query. So, excuse me. Whenever we write back, we do a lookup based on the source ID and based on the object that you have selected inside of Connect. And based on that information, there are certain relationships that are formed, specifically around opportunity objects in relation to envelope IDs and related to the DS status objects. So the long and the short story of it is that these IDs are unique and they're generated ad hoc when the envelopes are created. So if you do end up in a situation where you have to upgrade or if you have to migrate to another Salesforce environment, those relationships have to remain intact, because if they do not, basically Salesforce doesn't know how to relate things back and forth. Now we do have ways that you can get around this, and you can do mass publishes to a Salesforce org if like you need to export your full list of documents or just PDFs within a given time frame. We absolutely have solutions for you if you run into problems like that. But do keep in mind that if those relationships are broken, your items in Salesforce will not appear as you would have expected them to, the way that they did before. So that's kind of the long and the short of that explanation. We do have a couple other questions. From Oliver, signed documents as attachments or as files in Salesforce, it actually depends on which version of Salesforce that you're using, specifically the experience that you're using. The notes and attachments in the file sections for Salesforce Classic versus Lightning actually do function differently. So if you're running into a problem where you're not seeing the results that you would expect, chances are it's just related to your Connect Write Back. And if you need help with that, you can reach out to customer support and we can absolutely pick that up and help you from there. We don't typically troubleshoot things like that on sessions like these, just because those orgs will almost certainly contain PII. So that's something that we would really want to take to a offline discussion. Next up, excuse me. I'm not sure if my audio got cut off prior to answering this, so I'll go ahead and answer it again. Andy, the error that you're receiving related to authorization for accessing an envelope, the error message you're receiving isn't actually an API fault from DocuSign. It's an interpretation of the error message. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that your stored authentication credentials would allow you to create a template but not be able to access it after the fact. So that's something that we would definitely want to take a closer look at. Again, we'd want you to reach out to customer support. And in a case like that, we would probably have you install an application like Fiddler, or we would have you enable API logging for the account and the user that you're making these calls through. And that way we can try and see if we can get a read on exactly what's happening and show you how to correct that. I wouldn't think that it's related to the type of Salesforce instance that you have that's possible. But again, that's something that we would definitely want to take a look at.
Cool.
So with that, the last thing that I would want to go over is that the managed packages of themselves are extremely efficient. We've made some pretty solid strides, but we do have many versions of this application that have been out there on the App Exchange previously. Keep in mind that this demo was for the latest version of the EFS package and for the DocuSign App Launcher. And that if you were using a version of Salesforce previously that was just a lower version or maybe a different experience, that the things that you're seeing on your end might differ a little bit, just as things do change over time. So keep that in mind. And with that, I think that's it for questions.
Cool. Thank you, Matt. Really quickly, because I know we're literally at the top of the hour, here's some resources, the developer and also some admin stuff in there. We'll also send you a follow-up email with some hands-on resources, so admin guide, etc. So there's a developer center, developers.docusign.com, Stack Overflow if you have any questions. There's also support center if you have some questions there. DocuSign University is amazing. It's free for follow along or self-paced courses. DocuSign developer blog if you have any interest in hearing a bit more about new features and cool stuff that we are doing in developer side. We have some up and coming webinars. I've already talked about DreamTX. I'm hosting a watch party, should I say. So if you head over to our developer site, you will be able to get the link there. We're also in the demo jam on December 17th for DreamTX, where we're showing off what I just showed you in a quick 3-minute demo. December 17th, again, we're going beyond the eSignature with DocuSign CLM, so you get a deep dive into contract lifecycle management. We also have some YouTube videos and some partner resources there. There will be a survey at the end of this. We will send it out to you. If you do, as Matt said, please do provide the feedback. We do read it, we do take it on board, and we do push and advocate. That's the whole point of my job, is I advocate for customers to make sure that they get the best out of our products. So with that, thank you very much for attending.